talk show where we talk about many different topics. This week, we're going to be talking about football and the Barclays Premier League. My name is Sean, and my co-host is...
I'm Luke, and we're going to be talking Gameweek 26 this week of the Premier League. So, do you want to get into it straight away?
Yeah, let's get straight into it.
So, Man City, West Ham, what are you saying?
Well, it was actually a very good game, actually. Very entertaining. Both teams had a go. Manchester City was a little bit off the pace this week, but, as champions-elect, they did what they had to do. They got the job done. Even if the strikers and the attackers aren't scoring, you got goals from all over the pitch. The defenders can chip in and score goals. Cracking cross by Kevin De Bruyne.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Left-footed as well, but he's both-footed, so it's what you expect from someone of his world-class calibre. Good equaliser and response also by West Ham. Mikel Antonio, that's another goal for him. Well played by them. They played very well. They defended extremely well as well, despite the 2 goals they conceded. And then good old John Stones, the other centre-half. Strikers finish in the box, set up by Mahrez. Cut back, smash straight in the back of the net. But having said that, West Ham could have equalised in the last minute.
Yeah.
The cross into the box and a header just wide. I think it was just because the cross was slightly behind him because he ran in front of the ball. But if it was anywhere just in front of him, it would have been headed 2-2 and a good point that West Ham probably deserved. But Manchester City win again and they move on. What are your thoughts?
I just think they're just brilliant, City. And I thought that De Bruyne assist was just unreal with that Diaz header. And I thought, I agree with you. I thought West Ham were really good. I think they've been very good this year as well. I think to say that they're challenging for top 4 with the money that they've spent with the players, that at the start of the season when they had that poor run, if you'd have said that they were going to challenge Champions League, you'd have been a madman. Do you know what I mean? So I think they did. They've done really well. I think Antonio's their main striker, and he's not a striker, and he's banging in the goals. So I think they've done really well. I want to say about Diaz as well. What would you say about Diaz, player of the season this year?
Yeah, he's right there. He's been absolutely
12 to 1. 12 to 1 they're saying for Diaz, player of the season. But I think he's completely transformed that team. He's transformed John Stones as well. John Stones was a player that we're going to leave at the start of the season, and now he's going to be England centre back.
It's fantastic, isn't it? But the thing is, what's crazy is the fact that if you look at it, Laporte didn't really do too much wrong for Manchester City.
Laporte's brilliant. Yeah.
He's been dropped to the bench for Stones. Stones came in with Diaz, one chance, took it. It's a done deal. That's it. Yeah. But now they have 3 solid centre backs. So, Laporte, even if one of them is injured or needs a rest, Laporte can come off the bench and do a job. So, really and truthfully, they're solid all round Manchester City.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What do you reckon? Quadruple on that?
We say this every season, isn't it?
This season they're running away. The league's done already.
I think they can win the treble. I don't think they're going to win the Champions League, but they can win the treble because I just think.
I think this year could be their year. I think they could do it.
Really?
Yeah, I think this year. I think it was the same. But last season, Liverpool were in the same boat where Liverpool had won the league. It was done. They had a chance to win the Champions League, and a lot of people, when they won the league, a lot of people felt a bit like, could you have done a little bit more? And I think with City this year, I think his trophy is the Champions League. That's the one he wants. I mean, he's won the Premier League already this year, but that's the one he really wants. And I think I think they will go for the Champions League this year. I think they'll really go for it. And I think there's been some strange results in the Champions League as well. But there's no, except from Bayern, there's no real standout team that you'd say could challenge City. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
So I think it definitely could be there. Yeah.
Well, let's hope not, but it's not doable. That's all I've got to say on that matter.
Okay. Right. Next up, the big one, the game that no one would have thought would have been the most talked about. West Brom versus Brighton. What on earth went on there?
Where to start with that game? It was just absolute chaos. Firstly,
I think let's start. Let's not go into the referee stuff yet. We'll talk about the game first, and then we'll go into the referee thing. I think first.
To be fair, the game wasn't as bad as other matches this weekend. To be honest, there was plenty of chances, goal malfaction, especially Brighton. Take out of account the refereeing decisions. They had some good opportunities to score.
They missed 2 penalties.
They did.
They missed 2 penalties. Like, what do you do? Like, do you know what I mean? What can you do? Like, they had chances. They missed 2 penalties. Like, do you know what I mean?
Did you see Connolly miss an
absolute? Yeah, he had that big chance as well.
Sitter in the second half. He just snatched at it and blazed it over. But it was poor defending for the goal. Don't get me wrong. Good header by Carl Bartley. Obviously, it was a great header, but bad defending. That there was so many people around there. Just somebody just clear it, or the goalkeeper's got to come and grab it. But fair play to West Brom. They got the win, but Brighton had this is what Brighton do. They'll create 50 chances in a couple of matches and score 1 goal, and that's why they're where they are in the league. But
they're a good footballing team.
It's not like they're creating half chances. They're creating great chances.
Yeah, no.
And if you miss, and if you know what I mean. To be fair, if they got a third penalty, they probably would hit the other side of the post as well. You know what I mean? The way they were taking their penalties.
That's the thing that Brighton are a good footballing team. Like, they do actually play good football, but they're just nowhere near clinical enough up front. And I think that they're starting to. Well, they're already like fallen into that relegation battle, and I think you can definitely see like good teams do go down, and they are a good team that could go down because they're just not scoring goals. And it's happened before where teams that can dominate games, or they can create as many chances as they want, but if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, you lose. And that's one thing that Allardyce is really good with when he comes in. They don't play good football as teams, but they don't concede many, but they do score that odd goal, and it's that odd goal, but you need to stay up. I thought Johnston was fantastic. I thought he played really well. I mean, I know they missed the chances, but I think he played really well. He reminds me of every season, like you always have a team where they're good, they're always battling relegation, and the keeper is just unreal. Like, remember, it was Cardiff, and it was Neil Eldridge. Yeah, like he was unreal, and then Marshall was there at Cardiff as well, and and I think he's one of them where, because he's had so many shots come at him, he's like doing unreal, like, do you know what I mean, to keep him out. And I think as well, there's a little bit of hope now for West Brom as well, because they know that if they can keep nicking a couple of wins, they could stay up still.
They could, it's doable,
yeah.
No real complaints with any of the penalty shout. Both penalties were penalties. They were just both missed, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we got to talk about the elephant in the room.
Go on. What's your opinion on it?
Well, the interesting free kick.
Yeah.
Free kick matter. Should I take it quick? Oh, yes, you can. Blow the whistle. Take it. Oh, no, wait. The goalkeeper's not in the goal. Oh, well, that normally defeats the object of what a quick free kick is, because that means that they're not meant to be ready. The teams, if you have to take a quick free kick, normally the other team is not actually ready for what is about to happen. Hence why it's called a quick free kick. So once the referee says yes, it's a done deal. The goal's got to stand, but then he blew the whistle before the ball crossed the line. So, and then he gave the goal, took it away. He didn't have a Scooby-Doo whatever was happening.
I think I do feel sorry for him. And I think this reminds me of a situation where I've spoken to a referee before who was managing the Premier League, and it was a game against, I think it was like Middlesbrough versus Villa that he managed, and he had a really good first half. It was like his first game in the Premier League. He had a really good first half, and in the second half, and he was absolutely buzzing because he had such a good half. And then in the second half, the first minute in the second half, this player cuts across this other player in the box, goes down, and the referee straight away blew for a penalty. And he knew in the back of his head it wasn't a penalty. And he thought, I made a mistake here, what am I going to do? So he went up to his linesman and said, I just want you to nod while I'm talking. And I'm going to say it's not a penalty. And that's what he did. He got the linesman to nod. So then after the game, all the commentators were saying, what a brilliant referee, checked with his linesman. The linesman said there was no contact. So they didn't move a penalty. It wasn't that, he just made a mistake. And I feel it's the same thing with what happened in the game, where I think he's made a mistake and he's thought, I've messed up here. It was a goal. Like, I shouldn't have blown, it was a goal. And he's tried to say, he gives a goal, but then VAR come back and say, oh no, it's no goal. And I think that's the problem. I think it's VAR that's a problem. I think the referee's decision should be final. And the referee made that decision. Right, that's a goal. But it's VAR that came and said, no, it's not a goal. And I think that's unfair because, and then we're going to talk about it when we get to the Man U game, but then you go to the Man U game and with the handball situation, and the referee apparently has said, I didn't want to make that call because I'm scared of the repercussions of it because of all these other referees. And I think this has been the worst year for referees getting abuse because of VAR is making it worse. And VAR was brought in to make it easier for referees, and it's made it 10 times worse.
I agree with you, but in this instance, I disagree, because the reason VAR overruled it is because VAR listened to what happened. So once the free kick was struck, VAR looked out for, did the referee blow the whistle before the ball touched the back of the net? The second whistle. That's what happened. The ref, as the shot happened, but the referee blew the whistle again before the ball touched the back of the net. That's what VAR was looking out for. Which
I get that. No, I get that.
That's why it can't stand. It can't stand. That's why. If it had crossed the line, then VAR would have said, well, it's called across the line. So goal given. But because it hadn't crossed the line, that's why VAR stepped in. VAR actually did make the right decision in the end. They actually did make the right decision.
I get that. I get that. I get they made the right decision. But what I'm saying is, I think VAR needs to be changed where it still goes to the referee for the final decision. So I think the referee needs to have the authority to say, actually, no, I think that should stand. Do you know what I mean? Because there's no right or wrong answer to this. Because, like, if you're a Brighton fan, you say it shouldn't be a goal. If you're a West Brom fan, you say it shouldn't. Like, do you know what I mean? There's no right or wrong answers. But, like, what I'm saying, I think referee, and this is the problem what I'm finding with the Premier League this season, is that because of VAR and they're second guessing themselves all the time, is that referees don't have any control anymore. And what I'm saying is, I think referees should get more control in the game. So he's made a mistake, but that's not fair on Brighton that he's made a mistake. Like, look, Brighton should have scored and they've had 2 penalties scored, so I don't think they can be too hard done by. But it's not Brighton's fault that he's made that mistake. They've lost a goal for his mistake, but that's not their fault. And that's what I'm saying, is that if VAR wasn't involved, that goal would have probably stood, because the referee would have said, well, hang on. And I get what you're saying, that VAR is right, but it shouldn't have stood because the rules of the game specify this. But what I'm saying is, I think referees should have more of have more authority, because that's the problem with VAR at the moment, is that it's these little decisions that the referees are getting in the back of the ring and they second guess themselves. You know what I mean? And that's when we get to the Man U game, we can talk about it then as well, and that's what's happened there, where he's not sure and he's just saying, well, I won't give a penalty when it probably was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the joys of VAR.
Gotta love it. Okay, moving on to Leeds United 0, Aston Villa 1. Your beloved side holding another L. What are your thoughts on the match?
I thought it was a bit of a dull game, to be fair. I thought, obviously, Villa are missing players, we're missing players, and it just felt a bit of I didn't feel Villa created anything other than the goal. I thought the goal was a well-taken goal. But, I didn't feel they created anything without Grealish. And it was like a smash and grab. Like, they got the goal and then just sat back and let us play, because they knew we didn't test their keeper out at all. Like, Martinez had paracetamol, like, in the 70th minute, and Leeds didn't even test him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just showed that he didn't have to be in goal and we wouldn't have tested him. But I've said this before, that, look, we've got enough points to stay up this year. I believe we've got enough points to stay up already. And if it was next season, and we lost to Villa at home, I'd be fuming. But we've done it this season, and we're probably going to stay up now anyway. It's one of them games where we're a mid-table team. We'll win some, we'll lose some. It's just one of them. I think we're definitely 4 or 5 plays short, like 100% 4 or 5 plays short. And the reason, like, with the substitutions that Bielsa made were literally the 3 players that came on. I think every Leeds fan would have brought them same 3 players on. Alioski and Andes to try and Harrison to try and create something, and they didn't create anything. And I think that just showed the lack of depth that we've got in the squad, where we literally brought 3 players on and they did nothing. Like, they literally did nothing. And I think that's where it shows that if we are going to push on to the higher top half of the table, the European places, we are 4 or 5 plays short. I mean, look, we don't have Phillips, we don't have Rodrigo. They are big players for us, but every team has injuries, so we can't blame it on injuries and stuff. But I definitely think that we're at least 4 or 5 players short of just having something creative, just to come off the bench or to do something. Fair play to Villa as well. I thought they did the job. Got an early goal and defended well, and that was it. But a bit of a dull game for me, to be fair.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a bad game. I don't think Leeds played badly. I think Leeds had a couple of chances. They probably should have maybe nicked an equaliser. Probably. Villa. I think Villa started well. A bit of a sloppy goal from Leeds' point of view, but it was a good finish by El Ghazi.
Yeah.
Where credit's due, that was a good finish. He had plenty of time in the box, more time than he should have had to bring that down and fire it past the goalkeeper. But apart from that, no, it wasn't a bad game. We've definitely seen worse games over the weekend, I'll tell you that. So it wasn't a bad game, but Leeds are fine. They've have had a good season, and they give as good as they got, and they do the best. Villa, give them credit. No Grealish. El Ghazi stepped up. The other players defended well and stepped up when it mattered, and they got a very good win. And they still have a couple games in hand on a few teams above them. Sorry, so that's good for them. Yeah. Okay. One more game on Saturday. Newcastle United versus Wolves. Thoughts?
Newcastle are in a relegation battle. That's the first note that I put down. 100%. I think they're really going to struggle. Really going to struggle now. I could see them dropping into the bottom three. I think I put on my notes, but Saint Maximum, he's a fantastic player. And the times I've watched him, I think he's brilliant and he's their creative spark. And I've read today that him and Almiron are injured. They are in trouble. They are in big trouble. They've got no Wilson, and now them two are injured. They are in trouble. I cannot see where they're going to get goals from.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think they're not defending well either. And I think they are really going to struggle now, and that's where the goal's going to come from.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. You've got players like Dwight Gale, who's a good Championship striker, but he's not a Premier League striker.
Yeah.
Joe Linton is not scoring goals. Do you know what I mean? Wolves, good mid-table team. They win a few, lose a few. They had a couple of chances where they should have maybe won the game, to be fair, from what I saw. I think they'll just be happy with this season, just to finish where they're going to finish because they've lost their main man Jimenez. Do you know what I mean? I think, he's back in training now, so that's really good for them, really good for him, and hopefully he'll be back by the end of the season. But if I were Newcastle, really, I think they're definitely going to be in a relegation battle, 100%.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think they're in big trouble because, especially Sam Maximan, he's been very injury prone all season, and like I said, Almiron as well. Struggle to see where they're going to get many goals from, and defensively they're leaking goals. So even if they're not scoring goals, if they were defending well and able to shut the back door, then I probably would give them a chance. But at the minute, they're just falling in the way. I guess, against Wolves at home, I guess it's not a bad point, but really and truthfully, you need all 3 points, really. And draws aren't really any good, especially when you get to the back end of this part of the season. But for Wolves, a point's a point. Neto played well again. He's really carrying the team going forward as well. Probably should have nicked the game and won the game, but that's a good point for them, mid-table. Not going down, obviously for them, they should be having a better season. I feel like they've underachieved this season for what they did last season. But it's good. Like you said, it's good to see Jimenez back in training. I guess Willian Jose has come in. He's done all right. He's not quite Raul Jimenez, but he's done all right. So not bad. Not bad for Wolves. Not bad. Okay, Sunday's fixtures. This probably is the worst fixture of the whole. Actually, it's arguably one of the worst fixtures of the whole weekend. Crystal Palace against Fulham in a London derby. BBC One, this was on.
Yeah, every time it's on BBC One, it's always a boring game. I don't know if it's pick them.
Well, to be fair, what I thought of this particular game is it was. No, the first half was terrible. I have to say, it was really drab. There really wasn't a lot going on. I can't remember hardly anything that happened, really. Not really any flying tackles, much or anything. It was a poor first half. Second half, it picked up a bit. Fulham really should have won this game. They had chances to win this game. Madger should have scored a header. Good save by Guaita. But I don't know. Crystal Palace, without Zaha, struggling quite a bit. Having said that, they do have Eze and Townsend, who you would think
creative
going forward, they've got the quality. They've definitely got quite a lot of quality, and Eze's been excellent as well this season, especially. So you think maybe they would have a chance at breaching that Fulham defence, but Fulham, give where credit's due. They played very well in the second half, especially. They should have won this game. Anderson had a couple of chances too to win the game for them, but it just didn't happen for Fulham. But they're creeping ever so closer to safety. So as much as they're not losing many and they're drawing, they're playing solid football. So I have to give where credit's due. Scott Parker's done a good job, and they have a real good chance of staying up.
Yeah, I think Palace are playing for points, and I think you could tell by the end of the game when they're bringing on defensive midfielders and defenders are coming on off the bench and stuff. They're playing for points now, where they know that they're very close to getting to that 35-40 point mark where you're going to be safe. And I think if they keep playing like that, they probably will be safe. But yeah, looking at next season, if they lose the Heart, what are they going to do? Cause they are literally, they just look like they're running out of ideas. They just look like they don't have any ideas. When we played them at the start of the season, they looked to have a bit of flair about them. They looked to have a bit, going forward. But without Zaha, they just don't look like they've got anything going forward. It's like when Leeds played them, it felt a bit easy against them. Do you know what I mean? It'd be interesting to see next season with them what happens to Roy Hodgson and stuff, and if they get a bit more of a attacking minded manager and stuff, and what they do with stuff like that. But I just said that they need to invest in the team, because it just looks a very tired team.
Benteke, an aging team as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It does look a bit of a tired team, but I think Scott Parker's done really well as well, and I think they've got a really good chance of staying up, but I do think they've got to stop drawing and start winning. And it's these little margins where if they had beaten Palace 1-0, you're obviously a lot closer to staying up. Do you know what I mean? I think they've drawn a heck of a lot of games this season, and I think they need to start winning games. But they've got Leeds coming up soon, and Leeds are winning London, so they'll probably beat Leeds. but yeah, so
they have to beat somebody.
But yeah, so they need to start winning games. But I think if I was going to say who was going to stay up, Fulham, Newcastle, at this moment, I'd say Fulham.
Yeah.
Just because they're actually showing something. They're actually showing something where. And it's like Newcastle against Wolves. By the end of the game, I thought Wolves should have probably won that game. End of the game, Palace and Fulham, you're saying Fulham should have probably won that game. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's the difference, where they've both got draws, but Fulham just look a lot better for their draw. Do you know what I mean? So
just quickly on Crystal Palace, I think they've got a lot of free agents this season, a lot of players out of contract this season, and one of them is including their manager. So I think for other Palace fan, maybe not this season, but maybe going into next season, I'll be very worried unless some deals are done.
It's hard because they went with Frank de Boer last time, didn't they? And it just didn't work at all. And it because they tried to do a different style of play, didn't work at all. And then they brought in Roy Hodgson, and Roy Hodgson's a very defensive minded coach, and they've built a team around that defensive minded coach with the players that they've got. So it'd be interesting to see where they go next season. And Zaha is going to be high on a lot of teams' lists for signing, so it'd be interesting to see what they do if they do lose him, because they haven't struggled if they lose him, because they're proving that now.
That's true. Okay, Leicester 1, Arsenal 3. Thoughts?
Shock of the week, I would say. I didn't expect it.
Shock of the week or performance of the week?
I'm shocked for me because I didn't expect it. I hadn't expected it at all. I thought Leicester beat Aston. When I saw the team sheet, I thought they'd definitely beat them. When I saw William were in team, I thought, it's hands down they're going to win. And then he gets 2 assists. I think Leicester are going to struggle. I think they're going to struggle now. I think they've lost 2 key players in Barnes and Maddison. I don't know how long Barnes is out for, but Maddison's going to be out for a couple of weeks. Yeah, so I think they're going to struggle because that creative flair is gone, and I think they're going to struggle. And a lot, what happened to them last season, they got towards the end of the season and just crumbled, and it's starting to happen again. And I hope it doesn't, because I do like Leicester, and I think they have been quite unlucky with injuries recently. But yeah, I think I could see them losing quite a few games now. and like they did last season, started to fall off. And I think the defeat in Europe as well wouldn't have. I think it helps them, but doesn't help them, because it helps in the fact that they get a bit more, rest between games. They don't have to play as many games. But I think it didn't help them that they put a really good team out and still lost. Do you know what I mean? Yes. They actually went for it and they lost. Do you know what I mean? True. So.
And that was a way into the Champions League if the league fails.
Exactly, yeah.
You've cut your route off.
Yeah, no. So I could see them struggling a little bit. But going on to Arsenal, Arsenal were brilliant, to be fair. Like, Arsenal were really good. I was really impressed. And William was fantastic. And he's been dreadful this season, but he was fantastic and showing what he could do. Like, David Luiz played well. Like, the old school players really stepped up. And I thought they did really well, to be fair. And some good goals as well, good goal on the counter attack. I thought really good performance from Arsenal.
No, yeah, it was a very good performance. But I think it was performance of the week, probably especially from Arsenal. I think the thing about Arsenal too is the fact that they came from behind to beat Benfica on Thursday. I think that also was a factor. I think that also gave them that extra bit of confidence to come into this game and think, you know what? Despite we were down, but we still were able to come back and show a lot of heart and determination and grit. That's something that you kind of struggled, maybe especially this season, to get from Arsenal. But where credit is due, they deserve a lot of credit for that. I think Leicester, tiredness. I think tiredness probably kept it. I know they've got quite a few injuries, but a lot of teams do. But they're tired. I think they're pretty tired, and it's just like I said, Thursday to Sunday. I don't know. Obviously, both teams play Thursday, and then both teams play Sunday. Leicester are actually at home, and Arsenal on the other side of the earth. I don't know where they were in Europe, Athens, I think, or something like that. Something ridiculous. But they come back, they look more fresh and ready to go, and they deserve to win the game. There was a penalty in there that Arsenal got, which was definitely a penalty because I don't know what Ndidi was doing because his hands up.
He's doing a nightmare, doesn't he, Ndidi? Yeah.
I don't know. He was doing like a the Lion King where Mufasa holds up the kids. So that's what it looked like to me. But it was definitely a penalty. And shout out to my friend Nathaniel, who loves when somebody does a nutmeg, and Willian's assist when he nutmegged the defender and he laid it on a plate for Pepe. I love that one. So, good win for Arsenal. Good performance. Leicester need to go again, pick it up. For midweek fixtures. Okay. Spurs 4. Burnley 0. Must be the battle of the inconsistent teams, I think.
I thought it would get when you first see it, and I just had a feeling Gareth Bale would score. I just had a feeling. When you just see it and you go, after all Mourinho's tactics, where he says about, that he's not fit enough, and then he says he's world class and stuff like that. He always does stuff like that. And I just thought, I've got a feeling he's going to score here. And then he scored after 2 minutes. And then I was surprised they put 4 past them, but they do like to beat Burnley at home. Like, they do like to score goals in Burnley. Yeah, that's what I mean. So they do like to beat Burnley, but I was surprised how poor Burnley played, especially at the back. They're normally very good at the back. Yeah, I thought Son was excellent. I thought I don't think he's going to get the plaudits because he didn't score. But I thought Son was excellent from what I saw. And a good performance. I mean, Tottenham should always beat Burnley. Do you know what I mean? At home, they should always beat Burnley. So it's not really a game where you'd say you were surprised by the result, but you sort of were surprised because of how poor Tottenham have been. But I thought they were excellent, to be fair. I thought Bale, from what I could see, Bale were playing really well. A good finish for his second goal. Kane, great finish for him. I thought his goal were excellent, to be fair. Harry Kane's goal.
It took a slight deflection, but it was a good finish.
But it just a very Harry Kane goal that I thought was good. I think more poor Burnley performance, but it was a good Spurs performance as well.
That's good, yeah. And one thing is also Spurs started quickly. I don't think you see that too often. Tottenham started quickly, and literally once that first goal went in that early, you knew that what was going to happen. I'm not lying. Burnley did respond. They did respond even after going 1-0 and 2-0 down. They did respond. They had maybe a half chance come out or whatever. But overall, Lloris didn't have too much to do, and it was a comfortable win for Spurs in the end. Good finishes, by Bale, Lucas and Kane. But think about it. Tottenham played 4 attackers going forward. That's unheard of by Mourinho. He played 4 attackers, and they all had an impact in the goals.
Yeah,
all of them. So that would even please him even more. And a clean sheet at the back.
But on paper, though, like just saying about the 4 attackers, on paper, there's not many 4 attackers in a team that are better than the 4 attackers he put out. You know, Son, Kane, Bale, and Lucas Moura. There's not many teams that have them 4 attack like high quality. Them, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think see what happens at Tottenham. I think if that's and you've also got Dele Alli in there as well. On his day, he's a good player, and I think so if they do go attacking against these teams, they have got a good team, but it's just at the back. They're so poor at the back.
Yeah, they are. No.
Got a clean sheet for them. They got a clean sheet, didn't they? So
just builds confidence. So yeah. Okay, well, there's the other drab game of the weekend: Chelsea versus Manchester United. The biggest part of this game is probably the talking point.
Yeah, well, it was a 0-0. I think it had 0-0 written all over it, like before. Like, do you know what I mean? If you're a betting man, you'd put 0-0 because Chelsea.
Earlier in the season, that also finished 0-0.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Chelsea both teams didn't have a go.
Yeah, Chelsea don't concede many goals with Tuchel, and Man U love a 0-0 against the top 6. So because they just don't go for it really, do they? So I think, I think Tuchel's done well. As in, obviously Chelsea aren't conceding hardly any goals at the moment. He's got them defensively sound. But Man U just don't ever. It just feels like Man U never go for it against the top 6. Like when they played Liverpool were on the ropes. Liverpool were there for the taking.
We were there for the taking.
Yeah, and they didn't take the opportunity against City. It was literally the worst game I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. Like against Man City, because Man City was happy with a point, and so Man U, and it was like you're at home, like you're in a derby.
Go for it.
No. Yeah, and it's so it just feels like Man U just don't have that killer instinct. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Man United are a counter-attacking team, though. This is the thing; they're a counter-attacking team. So when they're not counter-attacking, they're going to sit in and bide their time for their moments. So that's also the problem as well. And Chelsea defend pretty well. Having said that, Chelsea should have scored because Giroud missed an absolute first off. Right, and that header, he should have buried that. And then Pulisic in the second half, he had a chance. He blazed over. I think Greenwood had one chance for Man United, but then you lead on to the biggest talking point: penalty or no penalty.
It's. I mean, for me, I'd probably say it was a penalty, just because you shouldn't be having your hand in that position. Do you know what I mean? So it's an awkward position, and it's weird how the rules have changed, because I remember when Leeds played Liverpool at the start of the season, when Robin Koch, it just hit his hand and it was a penalty, and he couldn't do anything about it, and it was given a penalty, and then obviously halfway through they changed the rules. But I think it was a penalty because his hand was in a position where it shouldn't have been. It was an avoidable position.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the comments that the referees made after, if he has made them comments, I think that, and this is where it goes back to the VAR thing, I think something has to be done about that, because referees can't make calls because they're scared of the repercussions of it.
No, you've got a job to do. Do your job. Like, that's why you're getting paid. Do your job and make the right decisions. I know there might be people complaining and you're paid to do your job and make the right decisions. The same way VAR and all the players are made to try and do their best to make the right decisions. So the referee should have done his job. I think it was a penalty. I definitely think it was a penalty. And I'll tell you why, because if the referee had actually obviously seen the incident firstly, if he'd actually seen the incident properly, right, and he thought that it hit Greenwood's hand, right, he 100% he would have blown for a free kick to Chelsea and given them a handball. If it had hit Greenwood's hand first, that's what he would have done. So the other way round, you just got a penalty. It's definitely a penalty. It's 100% a penalty for me.
Again, I do feel sorry for the referees though, because I feel like it's so hard to make a decision at the moment. It's like with the referee that had all the death threats. Do you know what I mean? So he has to pull out the game. It's the VAR is there to support a referee, and I don't feel like VAR supporting referees at the moment. And I think it needs, for next season, it needs a complete, they need to completely redo it where referees make the call and that's their decision. Before VAR, if that referee thought it was a penalty, he would have given a penalty. Like, he wouldn't question himself, but he questions himself now because he knows that if it's not a penalty and they do look at it, all the spectators and go, "Oh, well, VAR said it was a penalty," then he's going to get death threats.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? So I think VAR needs to be looked over where it's a referee's decision is final. Like, if a referee makes a decision, that's it. The referee makes that decision. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I thought it was a penalty as well, to be fair. But Man U have had enough penalties, so they don't need any more.
I mean, I ain't gonna complain. I'm saying if Man United ain't gonna get one, but they'll get to the right decisions at the end of the day. But yeah, okay. Sheffield United 0, Liverpool 2.
Right, go for it. What are you saying?
Well, I'm happy. First of all, it's a win. I haven't seen many of those in recent times. It's a clean sheet also. I haven't also seen one of them in the recent times. It was a good performance, actually. Very good performance. But, we just this dominant, controlled, measured performance. It looked like the old Liverpool performance in a way. It was, I might like Sheffield United. McBurney had a chance to score. Kabach almost scored an own goal, I have to say. But apart from that, Firmino.
He did. He did score an own goal.
He did score an own goal. Well, luckily, I think it was offside. But it was a good performance by Liverpool. Controlled, measured, good performance. The first time Kabach and Phillips have started together as centre half. So, and they've done all right. Trent and Jones was brilliant all night long. They were brilliant. I think Klopp changed his tactics up slightly because Andy Robertson was up and down like a wing back. So I don't know if he changed it to like a 3-4-3, but it looked really pretty good what he did. And the front three were much sharper. Salah should have scored in the second half. Firmino definitely should have scored in the first half. I have to say Ramsdale give the guy a lot of credit. He made some cracking saves where credit's due. But for Liverpool, it was a good performance, 2 good goals. Well, the second one was more lucky because of the deflection, but, you take them. So, it was a good performance. 2-0, solid. Move on. For Sheffield United, it's doom and gloom, really. They were showing a lot of fight. Well, I think the game that did it for them was the Fulham game, where they really didn't. They looked lackluster. Didn't know enough fight. They were poor, really, and Fulham deserved to win that game 1-0. And after that, it's I feel like their confidence is gone, and I feel like they're probably going to go down. Sad, but I think that's the reality for them. But for Liverpool, good win, much needed win, and I guess we could go into the Chelsea game with a little bit of confidence, more confidence. But it's definitely stuff to work on. But yeah, I'll take it. 2-0 clean sheet.
Yeah, I thought Liverpool played all right. I thought, like you said, it was definitely a needed win, and I think Chelsea's a huge game for them because obviously lost 4 on the bounce at home, and I think Chelsea team, like we've said, don't concede many goals. I think it will be a really interesting game for Liverpool, and I think the Sheffield game has come at the perfect time where they needed to just pick up some points and get that clean sheet in the bag. But I just think Sheffield are a very, very bad team. They're a very bad team. Like, I watched the game, and I think they're well set up, and I think he's got them well set up. But I just think that player-wise, they're just not good enough at all for the Premier League. And I'll think about it. How many of them players would you take into a Premier League team? I won't take one.
Not many, no.
I won't take one. I would not take one of them players to go to into the Leeds squad. Not one. McBurney and McAlldrick up front, they're Championship players. Like the midfield, like John Fleck, he's a Championship player. Like, he's not a bad player, but he's not good enough for the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Aaron Ramsdale in goal, he made some good saves, but he got relegated to Bournemouth last year. He get relegated to Sheffield this year. Like, he's a good Championship player. Do you know what I mean? And I just think they are a very, very bad team. And I thought they made Liverpool look good because of how bad they were. But I still think Liverpool played well, and I think it was a good game for Liverpool, and I think it'll give them a good bit of confidence going into the Chelsea game. But I think it just showed how bad Sheffield are. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, Sheffield were excellent last season. Yeah,
they're well set up, and I think they're a good set up team. And I think as well they had a really good goalkeeper, which helped them out. So the games where you draw 0, the games where they're losing 1-0 this season, they drew 0-0 last season, or they won 1-0. Do you know what I mean? But and I do think they're a good, well set up team. But I just think that lack of investment has really shone through this year, where they're just not good enough. And I think you had players last year where defensively they didn't concede goals last year, and they had
It's true,
Henderson,
yeah.
but they also had the back three of Stevens, Egan, and like players like that who were solid as a rock. And then they're not as good this year. And then they had, they were never good for goals, but they used to get the odd goal last year. Whereas this year you just don't score.
He's not scoring now.
Yeah, so I just think they're a very bad team. And then I read a stat: the first team since 1974, which was Newport County, to have a fewer wins or as low as points as what they've got now. And
That's
I just think
horrible, isn't it?
yeah, and I just think that just shows how bad they are. But I think they're a team just like like Norwich were last year, like very good championship team. But when they come into the Premier League, they're just not good enough
It's
to
just
play.
not good enough for the minute.
Yeah, and I think that's it. And like they'll go down next season, and they'll probably have a really good season. They've got Brewster, who's there, and he's a very good championship striker. Not ready yet for the Premier League, but he's a very good championship striker. So I think they'll have a good season next year. Do you know what I mean? In the championship, but just for the Premier League, I looked at the squad and I thought, I won't take one of you to Leeds. Like, do you know what I mean? And that's saying something. We've got like Costa and players like that in our team. Do you know what I mean? But I thought it was I thought Liverpool did well, and I think it was good for him for Chelsea, and I think Chelsea's going to be a really good game because I think it's a game that Liverpool they need to win because of their home form. So I think it definitely done them some favours. But yeah,
fingers crossed. Okay, Monday Night Football. Everton 1, Southampton 0. Wow, I'm going to say another win for Everton. Everton on a bit of a run since demolishing us last week. But yeah, they're doing all right, and that's another clean sheet for Everton as they tick on. Another goal for Richarlison as well. It's 2-2. So fair play to him for that. And yeah, they're ticking along nicely. They've got a game in hand on Liverpool as well. So they could go above us with that win if they win. And they've got a shot at the top four. They really do have a shot.
yeah,
they're going about their business quietly, should I say? And they're just picking up wins, and just going about their business. So fair play to Everton for that. Despite I really dislike having to do any compliments about Everton and Man United, but I have to do it. Southampton, well, I don't know what's happened to them. They're just tumbling down the table, aren't they?
They've gone.
Tumbling. I feel like they're fine. I feel like they'll survive. They're fine, but they are just falling. And after such a good start as well. And fair enough, they might have had a couple of injuries here or there, but they've got to stop this 9-0 business, getting smacked up 9-0, and then you can't have that 2 seasons in a row. But then since then, they've just been terrible. They've been. You thought they steadied the ship a bit against Chelsea by getting a good 1-1 draw. They got themselves strategically. They strategized well and defended well and played well. But maybe they should have brought that into this game. But having said that, they had some chances to equalise. Everton, I'm not going to lie, had chances to kill the game off. But, Southampton had some good chances to equalise and nick a point. But it didn't happen for them. That's another defeat. And, I don't know. If this continues towards the end of the season, maybe questions about the Southampton manager. I don't know, at the end of the season, depending on where they finish. But, for Everton, they keep creeping up the table.
Yeah, I think Southampton, like you said, you think they're going to stay up. I would be worried. I would be worried at Southampton because I just cannot see where they're going to get any points from. They're not conceding. They're not scoring goals, and they're conceding goals. And they just look like you said, like Everton. I thought Everton played well. I thought they had a little bit of complacency, like where I think they went into third gear, towards like the end and stuff. And they probably should have scored more. But yeah, Southampton, I don't know what has happened, but last season they lost 9-0, and they then came out and started winning games, started drawing games, and we played and stopped conceding goals. This time they've lost 9-0, and they're losing every single week.
Game, yeah.
And they're losing 3-0, 1-0. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not scoring goals. Danny Ings he's not getting opportunities. At all, and they're not creating anything either. And they had a chance last night in the last minute where Pickford made a good Pickford made a good save, but other than that, they didn't really have a chance. And I think Southampton are going to struggle, and I think they'll be looking down. They're going to be looking more down than they're up. They're going to be looking at the relegation zone than they are moving up the table. And I think
they're 14th place, 30 points. and 7 points ahead of the Fulham.
Yeah, they're
Which
a good
really
team,
could
and that's the
change
thing
it.
on paper. They're a good team. Like they've got some really good players, but like I said, like good teams do go down. I mean, I would be worried for them. I do look at their team and I think they probably won't go down because they have got a very good. I think they've got some really good players. You know, Ward-Prowse, Danny Ings, Shea Adams. I think are good players. But it's just going to be where are the wins going to come from. Everton, I think they're starting to play really well at the moment. Another clean sheet for them. I thought they could have maybe scored a few more. But Ancelotti's got them playing, and I think definitely outside for the top four. I think there's a few teams that are going to be outside for the top four, but they're definitely going to be in the mix. I think maybe towards the end of the season they might fall off a little bit, where the bigger teams come through,
One
like
can only
Liverpool.
hope.
Yeah, Liverpool will probably come through a little bit more toward the end of the season, so they might fall off. But it feels like they are starting to build something at Everton again. Do you know what I mean? With Ancelotti, and I think they've got some good young players coming from there. And they're getting the like the Dignans and stuff tied down and stuff. So I think I think they're definitely going to be outside for top four this year.
That's the thing. If they win their game in hand, they will. Well, the way everything's going right now, if they win their game in hand, they will be fourth. Put it that way. Yeah.
That's what I mean. There's a few teams: Everton, West Ham. Everton you might have said, but West Ham you never would have said top four.
It's crazy because I'm looking at the table now. Villa have got 2 games in hand.
Yeah, Villa.
If they win theirs, if they win both of their games in hand, they will be where West Ham are in fourth.
Yeah.
So they have 2 games in hand.
Yeah.
One can only hope that doesn't happen. There you go.
That's it, but that's like you look at the league though. That is a frustrating thing for me as a Leeds fan. Is that if we'd have beaten Villa at home, if we'd beaten Wolves at home, we would have been in that mix. Do you know what I mean? And that's the annoying thing about this year that I'm happy that look, we've got enough points, we're going to stay up. But then you do feel a bit like, if we just did a little bit more, we could have been up there. Do you know what I mean? But
you're only 10 points off the top 4.
That's what I mean. We're not getting top 4. Not a chance.
Well,
if we finish mid-table, I'll be happy because we beat.
What about Europa League place?
Nah, not a chance. If we stay up, I'm happy, and that's every Leeds fan's happy.
It's only 8 points.
Nah, not a chance. We're not going to win enough games. We'll beat a few teams and we'll lose a few games. And that's how it'll go. But I'm happy.
Fair enough.
Right then, we're on to the players of the week. Go on then. Who's your player of the week?
My player of the week. I'm gonna give it to this week. I'm gonna give it to Willian.
Oh yeah, that's a decent one to be fair.
Big performance this week by him. Great win for Arsenal. Like I said, shock of the weekend or great performance of the weekend. We've got to give it to Willian. 2 assists, excellent performance, great game. I haven't said that. I haven't mention that to Xhaka as well in that game. I thought Xhaka played very well for them as well. So, yeah, Willian's going to get it this week. And excellent win for Arsenal. Yeah, what about you?
I went with either De Bruyne or Son. And just because I thought Son were fantastic in that game. But then that De Bruyne cross was just unreal. And just the way he controlled the game. Just the way he controls the game is just, they've not missed him as because they've kept winning games, but when he does play, you just
they are missing the level.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I just think he's unbelievable, De Bruyne. And De Bruyne and Son were mine.
Yeah, fair play.
Assist of the week.
Assist of the week.
Mine's De Bruyne.
It's got to be. It's okay. For me, it's either De Bruyne or it's got to be Willian's little nutmeg. Because
you were not nutmeg.
No, I'm sorry, but he's so close, and just the quick skill, not straight through the legs, tapping, brilliant. But De Bruyne's pass is definitely number 1. It's fantastic. What a cross,
brilliant
pass that is. Absolutely fantastic. So it's Kevin De Bruyne.
What goal of the week?
Goals of the week. Okay, so we have there's a couple of contenders, I think.
Harry Kane for me. I like Harry Kane's goal.
I'm going Gareth Bale's second goal. I think Gareth Bale's second goal.
Yeah, that was a nice finish, to be fair.
I think that was a cracking finish, to be fair. Really good. I think, you know what? One that's maybe slightly gone under the radar as a good goal is David Luiz's stooping header. Because that cross, the way it was well set up and thought out by Arsenal because they whipped the ball in. And David Luiz has to run like sideways, but across, but a great stooping header cross into the far corner. I thought it was a really, really good header. So I was going to say David Luiz for that one. I thought it was a very good header. But yeah.
Right, villain of the week.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, it's Lee Mason, isn't it? Is that? Oh, it's Lee Mason. 100%. It's Lee Mason. And it's between him and the Man United referee. It's 100%. It's between those two because I don't know what they were doing both decisions. So it's between them two. Having said that, also, I think I'm going to pick a team, which is also a villain of the week.
Oh.
Brighton.
Yeah, no, because strikers.
Yeah, because literally you had two penalties, and you missed them both, and you missed an open goal. Fair enough, you didn't get that one decision, but that one decision really shouldn't even have come into it because you should have won the game 3-1 anyway by scoring the two penalties and Connolly misses. So, I'm going to go Brighton, I think.
That's the thing. I think that's one thing that's helped Lee Mason out a little bit is that they had two penalties. Like, what can you do? We give you two penalties so you can redeem yourselves, and you didn't.
You didn't take it.
And this is another thing while we're on the topic of penalties, right? I've got Sam Johnson in my fantasy team. They missed two penalties. They didn't even get any bonus points for it.
No, because
I was fuming. I thought if they miss, that means you get bonus points. I was like, I looked, I kept flashing up my phone. I was like, I've got loads of points here. And then,
he didn't even get close to either of them.
It don't matter. They still missed them. He putting them off.
Because they hit the post, it counts as not a shot on target, innit?
Nah, fair enough. But I thought if he puts them off, that means I get bonus points.
That's what I mean. Okay, what was your villain for the week?
Well, it was VAR, but now I'm thinking fantasy football can have mine for taking me bonus points off. I thought I've got loads of points here. Right, so we've got fixtures coming up for the midweek games. Quite a few, to be fair.
There is, yes. Starting off today, yeah. What do you think? Manchester City versus Wolves?
I put 3-0.
I'm going to go...
I think they'll batter them. I think they will batter them.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-1.
I don't think they'll score.
I think Neto might get a consolation, but I'll go 3-1 to Manchester City because I can just see it being a home banker. Here we go. Burnley-Leicester tomorrow.
I've gone Burnley 2-1. I've just got a feeling Leicester... I think Leicester could be on the free fall.
But I think I'm a weird one. I'm going to go Leicester 2-1. And the reason I'm going Leicester 2-1 because after what Burnley took a pasting, I know they're going to react, but I feel like Leicester will react.
Yeah, sure.
Because I think in their mentality, as much as they got injuries, what happened last season, they don't want that to happen again. And they still got Vardy, so they still have a chance. I'm going to go 2-1 to Leicester. Sheffield United.
I've gone 2-1 Burnley for that one.
Okay, Sheffield United versus Aston Villa.
I've gone Villa because I think Sheffield are rubbish.
You say, huh?
I've gone Villa because I think Sheffield are rubbish.
Yeah, I'm going to go Villa too. Scoreline?
I've gone 2-1 though. I don't think it'll be a big scoreline, but I think Villa will win.
Yeah, 2-1 to Villa. Yeah, I can agree with that. And
to be fair, I could see a draw with that one because they don't have Grealish, do they?
Yeah, but if El Ghazi plays like he did against Leeds, then it's
maybe. Yeah, I've gone 2-1 Villa for that one.
Palace versus Man United.
Where you gone?
Oh, for me, it's going to be 3-1 Man United. No, 3-0.
I've gone cheeky. 1-1 draw.
I can't see Man United not winning it because I just look at it and think Man United are going to react. And if Zaha ain't there for Crystal Palace, I just unless Crystal Palace part the bus and they play counter attack.
They will. I think they will part the bus. I think. I think Man U will probably win it, to be fair, because they've won it's like 20 away games have won or something. Yeah, and so I think they probably will win it. But I think Palace, it'll be one of those games where Palace will completely just part the bus, and it'll just be if Man U score, they win the game. If they don't score, then it's a draw.
Okay. Fulham versus Spurs.
How are you gone?
I'm going to draw.
I've gone cheeky.
Well,
2-1 Fulham.
It's possible. It's doable, but if it's the Fulham that turned up against Liverpool, it's 100% doable. But I just think it will be a draw. But having said that,
draw as well. Like we said before, Fulham like to draw games.
But both teams are playing with confidence. But then on the flip side, if both teams play to their best and with confidence, Spurs will win. But it depends what Spurs turn up. You know, if the Tottenham I expect to turn up, then Tottenham will win. But I think it will be a draw because Fulham has shown a lot of fight. Everton, West Brom versus Everton.
I'm just looking at these. I might have been drunk when I wrote this. Because I've got a bit mad. Like, looking at it now, I'm like, I don't know why I put this. I've gone 2-1 West Brom.
2-1 West Brom. I hope it's 2-1 West Brom, but I can't see that happening at all. I can see it being like 2-0 to Everton, though.
Yeah.
Just the way that they're playing right now.
I don't know. If Allardyce gets them to play like Allardyce wants them to play, ex-club as well, isn't it? Versus ex-club, I don't know.
Winnable game, but I really do want. I wouldn't mind West Brom winning, to be honest. But
it depends. If West Brom don't concede, then I think obviously they've got a chance. So, but yeah,
I'm going. I think 2-0, 2-0 Everton. I'm going. Liverpool versus Chelsea.
No.
Well,
Liverpool don't score and Chelsea don't concede. So
true, but the way the big games have been going, it probably will. But then I still think there'll be one. I think it'll be 1-0 to Liverpool. I think with the attacking threat that we have, which is better than Chelsea.
It just depends if because Liverpool have a weak defence. Like Liverpool have a weak. They've got Adrian, Kabak, and Williams. They're not their strongest three. So if Chelsea go for it, Chelsea can score. There is an opportunity. Normally, you would say Chelsea wouldn't score against the Liverpool team at Anfield.
Yeah.
But there is a high possibility Chelsea will score if they go for it. But I just don't see Chelsea going for it.
Yeah. But
that's why I think 0-0. Just because I don't think they'll go for it.
But I think if Chelsea go for it, they might get picked off on the counter attack, and that's who I think we can get them. So it's a fascinating one.
Yeah.
That's really fascinating. Okay, the football fantasy time.
Yeah. How did you do?
Well, actually, it's like 47 points this week. I think the player with the most points for me was John Stones. Good job there. Got me 10 points. Goal and a clean sheet. The person with the least amount of points. Well, actually, I got plenty of players on. Oh, Nick Pope, 1 point.
He's got another game on it.
Conceded 4 goals. Didn't look like saving it. Couldn't get close to any of them. So yeah, but 47 points. We will, we'll take that into the next round of fixtures and hope for the best.
We still got some games left though. So
yes, we've got some games left. Yes.
I've got 65 so far.
That's all you get.
Yeah. Now I've got a few players. I've got De Bruyne tonight. I've got Diaz and I've got Stones. And Diaz and Stones got me 10 points each. Johnston got me 10 points. De Bruyne's got me 16 so far. And then I've got Salah, Fernandes, Lookman left after them. My worst player was Strauch, and I put him in. I thought he'll definitely start and he'll play the full game. Then he got injured after 55 minutes, so I lost the point. And I thought he'd definitely play, and then I thought there's a chance that Leeds might get a clean sheet. So I thought I'll play him, to be fair. And then I've got Antonio on the bench that I didn't think would score against City, so I've got him on the bench and he scored. So I've lost points there. My best one was Johnston, but I didn't get bonus for penalties, so I should have had more. And then do you want random questions?
Yeah, go for it. Here we go.
And then we get them up.
What we've been waiting for. Quick fire, 3 questions.
Some good ones this week. Oh, right. This is what you're gonna love. This one, right? Would you rather slip like Steven Gerrard in front of millions to cost your team the league, or wear a diaper for the rest of your life?
I'd rather wear a diaper for the rest of my life and Liverpool win the league. because okay, and this is what they'll probably do, right? Because of how technology is, they'll make the diaper so thin.
No technologies. You do this every time. There's no technologies. Right. While we're staying on the subject of nappies, would you rather do a poo on the football pitch and no one saw, or not do a poo but everyone thought you did?
Wait, not do a poo on what? Sorry.
Not do a poo but everyone thought you did. This is reference to Gary Lineker.
Oh, I'd rather do a crap on the pitch.
What?
Huh?
You'd rather crap.
Mate, especially at Old Trafford and at Everton. Hell yeah. That's what I think of them two teams. Freaking hate them. No, I ain't joking.
Right, and that's
Actually, yeah, because if you do it and nobody thought you did, it's better than everyone just like for the rest of your life saying.
But in your head, you've done it.
Huh? Yeah, don't worry, I'll forget about that later. Don't worry. Well, what would
right,
you rather do?
Last one. Right, would you rather not play a single minute and still win the Champions League, or miss a penalty in the final after being the best player?
Well, miss a penalty in the final because we still might win the game.
No, it's the last penalty.
Oh no, I can't have that.
No. So what then? So you'd rather not play?
Nah.
So you're not going to play Champions League?
Final?
Yeah.
No, but we're going to win the game though, innit?
Yeah. You win the game, but you don't play.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as we win the
yeah.
That's like winning isn't it? Yeah.
Still,
what do you
I don't have the bottle for a penalty anyway.
Well, I was going to say, what? You'd rather miss the decisive penalty? Be known for that? No way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said as well. To be fair, I'd rather do that.
Well, thank you for tuning into the show, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed it. It's going to be a weekly edition. We're also going to talk about other topics in other segments as well. Thank you for joining us. And
put a comment below what you thought of the channel. If there's anything you want us to talk about or anything like that, and also please like the video and subscribe to our channel if you like this sort of content.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and if you got any questions as well that you'd like to put on there, that also needs to be asked. That will be asked in the next segments. Feel free to comment. Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Good job.